Hello, Deep Value community. Thank you for joining me. Today, April 2020, we are facing a global recession, and there is a lot of blood on the street. A lot of companies have seen abrupt sell-offs. Restaurants, hospitality, airlines, retail. There's just such a big proportion of the economy that is just closed down. And this is a time to be an investor. This is a time for you to be selective. Now, this does not mean just buy anything on a low PE or low price to free cash flow on a trailing metric. It's a time to be diversified, to do a lot of work in terms of trying to figure out which businesses have strong staying power. I do not believe in trying to play the game that many people are trying to do to see which companies are going to benefit from this stay-at-home environment. I don't believe in playing that game because everyone else is trying to be the smartest guy in the room. I don't believe as a value investor that's the best approach. I do believe in going where the crowd is not going. And I do believe in trying to buy companies very cheaply. Now, small cap companies have done quite badly over the past 5 years. You can see that any investor that invests predominantly in small caps, as measured by the Russell 2000, is down 6% over the past 5 years, whereas large caps have actually held their ground quite well, and investors would have been up 30%, close to 31. The difference here is close to 38% indeed. So this is at the moment the widest gap. In fact, it's slightly over that because here you're down, so you have to recover all that. And the gap right now is actually the widest it's been for a long, long time. But what I actually noticed, which is interesting, and I don't believe many people actually saying this, is that small caps have actually not recovered since the fourth quarter of 2018, when there was that the whole war with the tariff war with China. So like many people not really discussing that. So yes, the large caps are taking a hit, but the small caps have been cheap for a really long time, and now they're particularly cheap. So is this like death of small cap investing? There's the theory that these small caps are cheap for a reason, and that what we as value investors, part of the thesis is that kind of regression to the mean no longer takes place. Now, I don't believe that to be true whatsoever. This mean reversion is seen as Charlie Munger often says, it's important to look at different mental models, and this happens in biology. Mean regression is actually where it was first spotted. So it's just at this moment in time that we're not really seeing this mean regression taking place, and we're seeing that large caps are really holding their ground. However, within the S&P 500, we have to notice that it's only a small portion of them that are doing really well, like the FANGs, for example. And those account for, I don't know, something like 19% of the S&P. So within those kind of 5-6 names, you're holding close to 20% of the S&P. And within those mega caps, you have stocks like Disney that have really taken a pounding lately. So it's not really fair to say that large caps are holding their weight and that small caps are all cheap. Indeed, some within the small caps are cheap because they're not able to compete against the likes of Amazon. Lots of retailers, you can't compete, and they've been struggling to adapt their business model for years. And so it's not all small caps that are unjustifiably cheap. So you have to be selective. And similarly, it's not all large caps that are holding their ground well. I don't have a position in Disney, but I believe that Disney can do quite well. I believe that Disney, yes, in 2020 has no parks, has very little original content coming um, on Disney Plus. So obviously there's no cinema. So right now Disney is kind of taking a huge pounding, but its business model has not really materially been impaired. Once the economy is back and running, it snaps right back up. So I don't believe that we can run blanket statements when it comes to investing, but I do believe that there's a very large opportunity for investors to be selective. I believe that investors should look where the fish are, and I believe that small caps present a very compelling investment opportunity if you're selective and you're able to do the work to buy companies with strong business model, strong free cash flows, um, and yeah, just try to not overpay and remember to be diversified. Also, it's important to not wait until there's clarity. When there's clarity, when we know that there's a vaccine coming, uh, when we know, investors can start to price that, and that's already too late. You can't wait for clarity. You can't wait until the dust has settled to be an investor. You know, the market is always forward looking. Investors are always trying to kind of price or estimate or predict where the company is going to be over time, and if you wait, this is the time to invest, not the time to be waiting on the sidelines. There are not many clear-cut opportunities to invest. Now, as I said before, being over the worst does not mean that things cannot go in a W shape, that we are up now and then, things sell off as further bad news. Being over the worst just means that, okay, like nobody's going to take them by surprise that the pandemic is everywhere. So this is a very good time to invest now. Yes, it could go down significantly over the S&P could sell off another 5-10%, and the investors will be kind of hurt again. But the time to invest is right now, because in 2 years, 2022, I believe that we'll look back to today's prices and we'll consider them a bargain price. So as always, thank you for watching, and please subscribe to my channel.